Welcome back. Today we are going to go over parts of an expression, combining like terms, and the distributed properties. So let's look at the first part at the top. You want to make sure that you circle your like terms. Like in the last video, we talked about circling like fruit. So all of your X will go together, your Y's will go together, and your constants will go together. Your constants are your numbers. Make sure to circle around the entire term. So let's look at the first one. So I'm going to circle, let's go with all of our variable terms first. Our variable terms are terms with a variable. So I'm going to circle 7x and I'm going to put that here. Let's see, a negative 5x. Make sure you include that negative. And a positive 4x. Now, when I write it down in variable terms, I'm not going to put the positive sign in front because it's understood that it's positive. Now we're going to circle any constants that are left. So I'm going to use a different color. So we have a positive 3. We have a positive 8. And we have a negative 1. Next, what I want you to understand is what a coefficient is. The coefficient is the number that is in front of the variable. So our coefficients are, let's see if I use a different color. Our coefficients are a 7, a negative 5, and a 4. Those are our coefficients. Now, if I wanted to answer that question, we're going to do that down below. So combining like terms. You can simplify an expression by combining like terms. So like we did before, I'm going to circle the 7x, the negative 5x, and the positive 4x. And when I do that, 7 minus 5 is 2, plus 4 is 6x. Going to use another color for my constants. So I have 3 plus 8 minus 1, and that gives me a positive 10. And that's your answer. Let's jump down to number 5. Number 5 says 5x squared plus 7x squared. You are not going to add the exponents. They are like fruit. So you're going to keep the exponents the same. You're just going to add the 5 and the 7, which gives you 12. So it's 12x squared. That's it. So always keep your exponents together, combined like terms. Let's go over number 7. So we have our x variables first. So we have a 26x minus 4x. That's going to give me a 22x. Then I have a plus 2y plus a 10y, which gives me a 12y. Number 8. Again, all like terms, x cubed. So we're just going to 8 minus 7 plus 16 gives me 17x cubed. Let's go down to the bottom. Number 5. Now, number 5 is tricky. There's a negative 1 on the outside. Always put a 1 there. It'll make it so much easier. So change this problem to a negative 1. Now, you could put a 1 in front of the y, minus 9. Now, solve it. So, a negative 1 times 1y gives me a negative 1y. A negative 1, now circle it, times a negative 9 gives me positive 9. So your answer is negative 1y plus 9. Now the correct answer would be negative y because the 1 is kind of invisible there, plus 9. Number 11, same thing. This is a 1x times a 1y plus 4. So 1x, ooh, what do we do here? You have an x and a y. You're going to multiply them. So now it becomes a 1xy plus 4x. Now, that xy is really xy. And what I would recommend, the correct answer is we're going to take away these ones because the correct answer is really xy. Even though it's an invisible 1xy, we're going to take that away. Number 12, same thing. 12 is d times c, so that's dc, minus. Now, watch this carefully. Your coefficients always go in the front, so you wouldn't want to say negative d4, right? So you want to say negative 4d, and that would be the correct answer. And let's do one more, number 13. So a 6a times a b would be 6ab, and a 6a times a positive 2c would be a 12ac. Now, go back and complete all the ones that I did not do, and we'll check them in class.